always been interesting to me when a group debuts with a deliberate image, not because I'm particularly passionate about things like lore. I wouldn't say I've ever been particularly passionate about lore so much as high concepts. Prime example, I don't think Sserafim have lore, but they have had a deliberate image from the start. I mean, they walk around with the name Sserafim and how they spell that. With the recent comeback of Easy, though, I decided to look back on their debut preparations, rewatching the first episode of their documentary. I would have watched more, but Kazuha really made me cry, and that is something I want to discuss. Sserafim's image is about subverting expectations, but that seems like the kind of concept you would develop over time. No, they debuted with a song called Fearless while scared shitless as they prepared for said promotions. I almost have to wonder if performing that song was like cognitive behavioral therapy. You know, your thoughts affect your feelings, which affect your behavior, which affects your thoughts. Actively changing your thoughts changes that entire cycle, ideally resulting in a more healthy experience. They were fearless because they said they were fearless. Another thing that struck me was Kazuha's trajectory. She had a note on her wall in the Netherlands that said, "The goddess of good fortune comes to the prepared," and she truly was so prepared for her life as a ballerina, but decided to take a risk. She decided to do what she truly wanted when she probably could have been happy following the path she was already on. And one of the staff members said she wanted Kazuha to feel envy, which was very interesting to me. Envy being toward other trainees, other idols, people who had developed more than she had in this way. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the Enneagram. I'm not that familiar with it myself, but I really like how they will say a healthy insert number here will do this, whereas an unhealthy insert number here will do that. I think it's interesting to think about how a given emotion can be healthy or unhealthy, especially quite literally one of the 7 deadly sins. It could be a driving force for sure, but it could also be detrimental to the self or detrimental to other people entirely, especially those close to the person. They were preparing to become a team, but it's so Sserafim to subvert expectations in any and every way possible. At the same time, there was another trainee who was practicing with the group for a little while named Ruka, who didn't make the final lineup because she didn't fit the image they had in mind. That makes me think the others fit the image, and that entails a lot, as we can see looking at them over their debut days. They did not, for lack of better words, have it easy. You see them go on to promote songs like Anti-Fragile, but Anti-Fragile, in my experience, is not something people say very often. Fragile is a common label, though, particularly for objects. As a result, performing Anti-Fragile was in some ways a rejection of labels, but you do have to wonder how rejection of labels works when you have this very specific brand. I keep mentioning My Hero Academia in videos, but they remind me of All Might saying he smiles to inspire hope in others, but also to trick the fear inside of him. They seem to be tricking their fears and other weaknesses until they are not. But I also think it's interesting to consider what that brand is now. Sserafim had this trilogy that they completed, so it seems interesting to me that now they are describing what they do, making things look easy as opposed to what they are. They might be going in a different direction, but I trust it is deliberate. I mean, people say they're falling off like people say about ITZY. I trust their direction is secure. I mean, I make my IMVU series and I'm constantly inspired by Sserafim because I genuinely find their trajectory inspiring. I genuinely believe that.